I thought I would make a quick video showing the lumber rack that I just finished building. That's this right here. It's behind these doors. I talked about this before in previous videos. I wanted to, because I had the lumber on the floor before, and then I had that covered lumber rack on the wall above, and then in between just open space. But basically I had the stuff that you see mounted on these doors on the wall. So I said, why don't you just build a lumber rack and then put doors in front of it? And that's what I did. Now, I didn't make a build video for this, mainly because, well, there were two reasons. First is that the build video for the covered lumber rack that I did before, the one that was up on the wall, didn't do well, so it was kind of a waste of time. So I didn't want to repeat the thing with this. I don't know, this one might have done better, who knows, but I didn't film it. I wanted to take a break from filming, to be honest. I mean, that's what I've been doing basically for every day for the last 8 years, is filming. So I wanted to just do a project where I didn't have to do that, and that's what this was. So I got it done fairly quickly, and as you can see, it looks pretty good. It's the 1/2-inch plywood that I bought and have been using in my basement. I didn't want to use that. I wanted to use maple veneer plywood, which is nicer, but I couldn't get to the place because of lockdown and all that stuff. So I used that instead, and like I said, it looks pretty good. My first thought was to paint it. And then I said, no, put it up first, put a coat of water-based polyurethane on, and actually see what it looks like before you decide to do that. Because these are just 3 panels, the same size. These two are screwed together, so they act as one door. And then this one on the end here is a separate door. And I'm going to open them up now so you can see how it looks. That's one door. And that's the other door. I'm going to break in here and let you know that now is a really good time to join the Makers Mob. Not only did my 6-video tutorial on building my new workbench, plus the plans, just go live inside the Makers Mob, for a limited time you can sign up for 75% off. Just click the link in the description, it'll take you right there, and you'll get immediate access to all of my projects, plus YouTube's top makers like Neil Paskin, John Peters, The Samurai Carpenter, Jimmy DeResta, and Frank Howarth. But like I said, this is a limited time offer, so act fast. Even though I didn't film this for a build video, I did take some pictures while I was building it, and I'll show you the lumber rack. They are just standards, which are old 2x4s, the thicker ones that I had. And I ripped those down the middle so that they're basically square. And I drilled holes that are spaced 6 inches apart. So I had to make a bunch of pegs, 72 of them, so that took a while. I used a lot of scrap hardwood that I had here, mostly red oak, but some ash and some maple. And the idea here is to put the pegs closer together, like that's 6 inches, so it limits how much weight you can put on like each row. So these don't have to be super duper strong to hold up that limited amount of weight. And plus there are 6 of them, so the load is spread fairly evenly across. Anyway, these pegs are just driven in. I drilled the holes on a slight upward angle so that when they're loaded, they'll come down flat and, wouldn't be sliding off. They wouldn't sag outwards type thing. And as you can see, it's working pretty good. I got a lot of weight on here. Now, the reason why I went with this system, with the pegs and the standards like that, and not the way that I've done it before with the brackets that's screwed to the plywood from behind and they're glued on, is because those brackets have to be a certain height to give you the strength needed, and they eat into the space. Whereas these, like you're using up all the space in between the pegs. And the top of this thing, because I wanted to close in on the top. I don't want dust falling in and contaminating all the wood, because that's the thing about lumber racks. They're a collector of dust. That's my old tool board. Actually, I cut it up and I made the top with that. I got a cleat on the end that keeps that door from going this way too far. And then I've got a couple of cleats on the bottom to keep them in line. It's just to make them look tidy. They really don't need to be there. Jigs are mounted that I had before on the wall, except it's better now because it's plywood rather than drywall. I was having a sag problem. The screws that I drove in to hold up the jigs before, I didn't put anchors or anything in because I knew it was temporary. They were falling out. So everything's good. This is in a better spot. Okay. And the table saw is up fairly close to this because I don't see myself accessing this all the time. It's only when I got a project to do. And I think from now on, my hardwood projects are going to start by planning ahead and taking the hardwood out and bringing it inside my house where it's more temperature controlled, especially in the winter, and then leaving it there for 3-4 weeks before starting the project. So I don't see myself getting into this every day. And even if I did, like, I wouldn't have to open it all the way. I can open up this far. I can see if what I need's in here, and then, finish opening it, move the table saw if I have to, and go from there.